Hello and welcome to NBL Live, coming to you today from the Powerhouse in Adelaide for Game 2 of the semi-final series between the Adelaide 36ers and the Perth Wildcats. The series started in Perth on Friday night, and it was the 36ers who prevailed by 17 points, winning 114-97 on the back of a great game from Maher. He potted 36 points to lead all scorers. So the question today, can the Wildcats win and force a deciding Game 3 back here at the Powerhouse on Tuesday night? Or will Adelaide win through to the grand final series as they aim for their first championship since 1986? It's a big day. And joining me is a legend in Adelaide basketball, Daryl Pearce. Daryl, Adelaide outshot Perth 57-43% from the field on Friday night. Can they do that again today in Game 2?
Well, one would expect that Adelaide couldn't repeat the same percentage, but I think in front of their home crowd, it's all set up for a great performance from Adelaide. And the big question is, can Perth fight back? It'll be very interesting to see where they come out. I expect Perth to come out very, very vigorous with Vlahov and Crawford and Michaels coming out. Perhaps a bit of Biffo early, just to set a physical tone for this game. Maher had an outstanding game, as Clinton said, and he needs some support from his teammates. But all in all, you just expect a very tough physical game here. I think Adelaide can win this, though.
A bit of Biffo. Sounds good. Make sure you stay with us. The tip-off just around the corner. But for now, it's a very good afternoon to Rob Waters. And with him, a man who knows all about finals basketball, Darren Lucas.
Thanks very much, Clinton. Good afternoon to you, and good afternoon to you, Darren. Bit of Biffo. Funny, Daryl mentioned that because you think that to win this, Perth have to come out and play pretty tough and hard.
Yeah, I think Perth's got the size and the strength, and they really need to dominate that part of thing, trying to put the Mahers off and those sort of players, get them off their shooting. And that's, I think, the key to them actually winning this game.
All right, now Maher was wonderful in Game 1 with 36 points, and Adelaide must be riding so high, having defeated Perth in Perth by 17, and now they've got 2 games for a grand final berth.
Yeah, Brett's playing really well. He's a real leader. And I think, as Clinton said there, or as Daryl said, he really needs some help from his teammates, because you're not going to win the game with having one guy shooting 36 and not a lot of other contributors. Mark Davis needs to probably step up a little bit and to get some more players helping him out.
All right, let's now have a look at the starting fives. And firstly today to the Adelaide 36ers lineup. And who are the keys here?
I think the key here is Kevin Brooks. Kevin's been shooting well from the 3. Maher, I think Brett's very consistent and he's not going to change much. He's always going to be a great player. Martin Cannellini, he needs to step up. He's been playing well. Darnell Mee's great, and Paul Reese is always there. Okay, and some familiar faces in the Perth Wildcats, who trail, of course, 1-0. They need to win this one to stay alive. Bit of an elderly sort of lineup there. You've got Scott Fisher, very strong. James Crawford has been in many final series. Ricky Grace, great leader for the team. Anthony Stewart really needs to get some threes for them to be a championship team. And Todd Luckney, I really like him.
Okay, quickly, Darren, who do you think will win Game 2?
I think Adelaide. I think Adelaide have got the game, they've got the youth, they've got the experience, and they're playing well. Okay, let's see if Darren Lucas is right. The former Magic star guard, as Adelaide take on Perth in Game 2. If Adelaide win, they're into the grand final series. As we go courtside now, here's Clinton Gritus.
Thanks very much, Rob and Darren. Good afternoon, everyone. Ray Hunt, Jeff Weeks and Bill Mildenhall, the referees in charge of this match this afternoon. It's on the line for the Perth Wildcats. Win today and we're back here Tuesday. Lose today for the Wildcats, and Adelaide will be into the grand final series for only the 4th time in club history. They were winners in 1986, runner-up in 85 and 1994. The 36ers in blue, the Wildcats in grey. Crawford and Cannellini get us underway, and Fisher controls the tip for the Perth Wildcats. Some great matchups on the floor. This really will be hot. Andrew Vlahov, just 4 points on Friday night. Crawford had 22. Can't score there, but Lichty strong on the boards. Wildcats get a second effort. Just about a full house here at the Powerhouse, as you would expect. Although a live broadcast in Adelaide for this match. Crawford, Vlahov for 3. Can't get it, but a second offensive rebound for the Wildcats. Fisher. He's been hot in the playoffs so far. He burned Illawarra in the quarterfinals, and he starts the scoring here today. He had 19 on Friday night.
Scott Fisher, one of the big-time finals players of NBL history, and Perth will be wanting him to really crank up his game as we see him called for the holding foul off the ball. That's a sort of physical statement that we mentioned before the game started. I think if Perth have any chance of winning this game, they've got to come out hard just try and knock Adelaide around a bit.
Brooks, guarded by Vlahov. Catalini to Maher. Came off the screen. Crawford blocked the shot. Maher gets it back. The shot clock did not reset. It's down to 15. Darnell Mee from long range. Paul Rees pulls in the offensive rebound. We know Adelaide can knock down the three-point tries. They've got 4 men out there who can. Catalini is one of those 4.
Perfect start from Adelaide, the big 3, and this crowd comes alive.
And they're pumped. You can really feel the atmosphere walking in.
But Adelaide people haven't experienced playoff finals for a long time, and they're pretty excited about the prospects.
Crawford, the feed inside, intended for Lichty, came off his knee.
Few interesting matchups there. Brett Maher with the job on top. Lichty probably has a height disadvantage there, but has foot speed in his corner. And Andrew Vlahov is starting for Perth, and he's the muscle man that's probably going to set the tone here physically.
Brooks, that's for 2. They made 48 points from outside the three-point line on Friday night. 16 triples. That time it was on the line from Brooks, just a 2, but they're out by 3 early. Ricky Grace, the quarterback for the Wildcats. The handoff to Crawford. Shot clock down to 8. Crawford goes himself over Rees and makes it. Not many Wildcat fans in the building, as you would expect. They had just about a full house at Challenge Stadium. Now Bill Mildenhall is warning Alan Black. The Perth Wildcats coach is told to keep it quiet, and Alan Black not overly happy by it. I didn't see what he'd have any reason to complain with so far.
I think that's all part of the psych, really, Clinton. I think, you know, there are no friends here for the Wildcats, and they just want to come out and play hard and set a really mean tone. And we see Adelaide working for the good shot here. Catalini pressured to switch there. Vlahov helping out. And Brooks just going to work on the dribble on Fisher.
Maher wide open for 3. Again, the 36ers are knocking down their shots from outside. The Wildcats were intense on D, but they couldn't get across. To Maher or Mee there. Grace on the drive. Crawford. How long the fans want to know. Crawford missed it anyway. Maher has Catalini open. That's for 2. And the groan tells the story from the powerhouse crowd. Perth have got to stay with them early. Fisher for 3. Scott Fisher knocks it down.
See Adelaide looking to run the ball at every chance here, and I don't really think Perth want to get into a running game at all. They want to slow it down and make it a real physical slog. On the other hand, Adelaide want to get the cheap baskets, run and gun, and get their perimeter players open.
They lead the league in scoring, the Adelaide 36ers, with 104 points a game. Brooks got the shot. Vlahov got a piece of it, I fancy. No, says the referee, and the ball will belong to the Wildcats and a chance to take the lead.
That's a strange one there. It's either a piece of the arm or
exactly,
the ball.
yeah.
If it's a piece of the ball, Adelaide get it back. I don't think Brooks is going to shoot with that action.
No, nor an air ball like that. So the Wildcats to try and put their nose in front. Lichty on the drive is good. Slicing his way through. He was scoreless in the second half Friday. Had 12 points in the opening half. The Wildcats were down by 11 at the break. Catalini off balance there. Crawford comes up with it. So a chance here for Perth to string a few scores together.
Just some swarming defence there by Perth. And again, that's just the aggression there. But
they really have come to play, haven't they, as the ball bounces off Paul Rees out of bounds.
Looking at the starting 5 here for Perth, the finals experience there, Crawford, Grace, Fisher and Vlahov, plus Lichty being an NBA player.
Yep.
A lot of experience there. They know how to win finals, and it's going to be a plus for them today.
Lichty from the baseline, short. Darnell Mee comes up with a loose ball, has Brett Maher deep. He was trying to get it to Maher, but Vlahov cut it out. Crawford, will he go himself? He does, and he rolls it in. JC down the middle.
JC with no left hand, shot the floater. Paul Rees slicing and dicing the big fella. Good transition pass, and Rees made no mistake.
So an up-tempo opening. Wildcats by 1. The lob for Lichty eventually gets it. Grace is back open up the top. Now Mee covers him. Andrew Vlahov wants to improve on his offensive output of Friday night, but he throws it away there, but it was touched on the way through. It'll stay with the Wildcats.
Obviously, both teams there, when someone drives into the paint, there's just swarming defence. A lot of pressure out there. We see a few errant passes skidding out of court. Crawford with a three-point attempt.
Oh, and he swishes it.
Rare footage from James Crawford.
He has made just 3 all season, and now he knocks one down in the opening quarter of the second semi-final. The Wildcats out by 4. Rees is double-teamed by Vlahov. Maher double-teamed again, but that means someone's open, and it's Darnell Mee. Can't get it, but look at the intensity. Andrew Vlahov wanted that ball. Grace, Fisher, spots up for 2, and the Wildcats are out by 6. Adelaide about to make a substitution with Mark Davis to come in, but it's a good start for the Wildcats. Oh, and Darnell Mee just bangs into Ricky Grace. That's an offensive foul. We might have a chance here to hear from David Graham running the sidelines for us this afternoon. David, you came in here expecting the Wildcats to win. Why was that?
Adelaide really humiliating them on Friday night in front of their home court. They would have been very disappointed with that effort, and just by watching them warm up and sitting behind their bench already tonight, they're very fired up. The whole bench is committed. The guys on the court are very committed, and as we've already seen, there's been some pretty hard bumps so far. I think Perth are just too fired up and too committed to actually let Adelaide come out and shoot the lights out again.
A lot of pride on the line. Thanks, David. You can see the contact there. JC will be off to the line to shoot 2. Catalini sat down for Mark Davis.
Well, Mark Davis called for the foul there, and it just seemed like he made every attempt to get position and not foul Crawford. But James is the pass master of jumping into the defender and forcing the contact, and went up hard, got the foul. Unfortunately, can't make his first free throw, but it's the all-time games played leader in the league, and planks his second. But I'm sure he'll be fired up for a big one today.
He has 7 points in the opening 6 minutes as we cross halfway in the first term. Mee draws contact. That basket would have counted had it dropped. Ricky Grace is called for the foul by Bill Mildenhall, one of the veteran whistleblowers in the NBL. In fact, alongside another couple of veterans today in Ray Hunt and Jeff Weeks. And Darnell Mee will be off to the free throw line to shoot a couple. Like Todd Lichty, he's a former Denver Nugget in the NBA. Makes the first.
I think Darnell Mee's advantage here, or his plus for Adelaide, he doesn't have to be a high scorer to be their best player. And he generally controls the game and leads by example.
He had 14 boards as well on Friday night to back up your point. Grace for 3 from a long way out. Ricky Grace over Darnell Mee for 3. And the Wildcats have their biggest lead. They're out by 7. Well, we knew the Wildcats would come out strongly, giving every indication this one is going to be a beauty. Darnell Mee intended for Davis. Crawford knocks it out of bounds, and John Riley will check his way back into the Adelaide lineup for Brett Maher. And what a season for John Riley. Early on, Phil Smythe sat him a lot on the bench, wasn't getting the minutes, but he seems to have played his way, I think as either David or yourself was saying earlier, played his way back into the roster.
He has, and Adelaide are going with a smaller lineup at times too, which helps him. They can play Darnell Mee, Maher and Riley out there.
The Wildcats to try and extend on their lead. Fisher for 3, can't find it. Mee the rebound, might try and trigger an Adelaide break. Riley is out wide, immediately pulls the trigger. And Crawford sucks it in. Now Grace, the Wildcats to run. Vlahov with Lichty, that's for 2. Vlahov on the boards. The good follow from Andrew Vlahov. And the Wildcats are out by 9.
Well, as predicted, the Wildcats have come out fierce and tough in this first quarter, and for Adelaide, I think it's just to retain their composure, weather the storm.
And in fact, talking about that composure, Darnell Mee calls for time. Rupert Sapra will check in for the Adelaide lineup. But what a start by the Wildcats. 4:41 remaining in the first quarter. It is the Wildcats 21, leading the 36ers 12. And JC, the veteran for the Wildcats, has 7 points to this point of time. There's Phil Smythe, the coach of Adelaide, talking with Steve Breeney. Phil Smythe, during the week, re-signed with the 36ers up to the year 2002 on a long-term deal. Let's listen to him now.
4 out, 1 in, doesn't matter who's in. 4 out, 1 in, 44. Penetrate, would be a penetration kick. We need to do a better job defensively of getting back on transition. Right now they're coming up with the rebounds. That'll swing our way. Keep contesting the boards offensively and take care of it defensively. Beverly. We're all right, fellas. Here we go. Stay focused. Here we go.
So that's the word from Phil Smythe. David Graham, you were listening to Alan Black. What did Alan Black have to say in that timeout?
Intensity of his team, and we'll certainly want that to continue for the rest of the quarter. Also, from an offensive point of view, just wanted the ball to get through a few more hands before they shot it up, instead of actually bringing the ball down and playing in a fast game like Adelaide do, and that's something that I certainly don't want to fall into. Getting the ball through as many hands they can once they get it into the half court is what he's after.
Thanks, David. Rupert Sapwell checks in, fires the three, can't get it. Crawford takes the rebound. Adelaide now 2 of 6 from downtown. Brace runs into trouble. Lichty goes for 3. Fisher on the offensive glass. Blocked by Sapwell. Here's Brooks. Thought about taking Grace on. Now does from the baseline. Tough shot. Can't roll. Crawford on the boards again. Wildcats tough on the board so far. 10 to 6. Lichty for 3. Can't get the roll. Davis the rebound. It's end-to-end, just jack it up, isn't it?
It is. It suits Adelaide, though. They like to play that sort of running style, and it's the sort of game that we heard David Graham mention that Alan Black doesn't want. Really, with the pull-up jumper, he starts to warm up. If you look at the two lineups out there too, Clinton, at the moment, there's no real size. I know Crawford's a centre, but he's 6'7", but both teams tending to match up there with just man for man at the same height.
Fisher. Now Todd Lichty. Vlahov from long range. Andrew Vlahov knocks it down for 3. And the Wildcats opening up a very handy lead. Really now, that silences the powerhouse crowd. Darnell Mee thought there was contact. Davis. The kick out for Sapwell, open for 3. And we should say, Darryl, he means to bank that.
That's his shot. He definitely kisses the glass from outside. Mark Davis with a good cross-court pass. That's because Adelaide are playing a 4-out, 1-in as Grace drive and dishes the turnover. Adelaide offensively playing 4-out, 1-in, and the 1-in is Mark Davis. As Davis drives his double team, it's going to allow someone open on the outside, and Adelaide shoot the ball very well from there, as we saw with Rupert Sapwell. Sapwell on the drive, takes on Crawford.
And Grace gets in the way, and it was knocked out by Sapwell. The ball will belong to the Wildcats. Stewart and Dwayne Michaels checking in for the Wildcats. Vlahov and Todd Lichty will sit down.
We see more outside pressure here from Perth. Adelaide with 16 three-point attempts made the other night on Friday night. Obviously very hot from the outside. So there's a lot of pressure or emphasis here for Perth. Good perimeter pressure.
Grace. Fisher. Vlahov got open off the screen. Fake Brooks. Can't bank it home, though. Rebound belonged to the 36ers. Brooks. Runs out of room. Sapwell open up the top. John Riley against Michaels. There's a mismatch. And Riley, as you would expect, draws the foul and will be off to the line to shoot 2.
Clever play from John Riley, guarded by a man with too much size and too much probably upper body weight. Just faked him into the air, make sure that Michael just moved into his cylinder, just leaned in and caused the contact. And of course, as the contact happens, just happened to throw up the shot. Michaels ended up blocking it, but the foul occurred first. And really an exceptional free throw shooter, knocks down his first, courtesy of a lot of iron.
Riley makes it again. So Grace. Now Vlahov scores 24-19 in favour of the Wildcats. The margin is 5. Grace. Fisher being harassed by Davis. Got inside of him. Ball tipped away by Darnell Mee. There is 12 seconds on the shot clock. So look for a quick release here for the Wildcats. 1:51 remaining in the first period. Alan Black would be happy to this stage. Shot clock down to single figures. Stewart, a lot of hang time on the shot, and he makes it.
Anthony Stewart just making that up in the air.
And a foul on Stewart, holding on to John Riley. He's not happy with it. We might be able to check it again. It is the 4th team foul on the Wildcats. It'll be Adelaide ball from the end line. There's the end of the contact. Stewart not happy with it.
Perhaps a little bit of a hold, but the pass was way off, so Adelaide failed out there by a foul. It's the 4th team foul to Perth, so Adelaide go to the line on any next team foul as Davis looks to go 1-on-1 on Michaels.
Now John Riley, 36ers down by 7. Brett Maher, dribbling high, lost the handle on it, got it back. Sapwell and Maher. Maher yet to get going. Spent some time on the bench. Davis can't bank it home. Vlahov, he's been impressive on the boards. Grace triggers the break. Stewart wide open, fakes Riley, and for 3, can't make it. Sapwell there on the boards. Brett Maher keeps it alive. Well done. The fans thought he was fouled. Sapwell, will he bank it home again? He tried. Michael's the rebound. Wildcats can run here. Stewart on the pull-up perhaps. After missing his last shot, he thought he'll hold it up. Davis fouls Vlahov.
Well, Andrew Vlahov just letting the referee know that he's being held on to. Probably the way he did it wasn't too intelligent, but Mark Davis just impeding his progress into the low post there and right in front of Ray Hunt, and he's called Davis for his first.
So inside of the last minute now of the first quarter, Fisher for 2. Can't get it. Maher the rebound. The season on the line for the Perth Wildcats. Lose here this afternoon, and it is all over as Brooks. The handoff for Davis is good. Davis can't finish, but kept it alive for Riley. Now Davis, can he finish it off? Riley on the boards. Shot clock is switched off. Adelaide can run it down for the final shot of the quarter. They're down by 7. Who do you go to here, Darryl?
Well, you'd think Brett Maher, but there'll be a lot of help his side.
They'll run it for the last shot of the quarter. Perth by 7. Really goes himself. Oh, my goodness. Perth will have time. Grace. Not quite. 36ers finish the quarter on a high. John Riley with the 3. Makes the margin just 4 at the end of the first quarter. There was still time remaining, but really said, what the heck, I'll go myself. And as you see there, nothing but the bottom of the net. At the end of 1 in Adelaide, it's Perth 26, Adelaide 22. A fantastic first quarter here on ABC TV Basketball. Now let's find out what Darren Lucas had to think. He's standing by with Rob Waters.
Thanks, Clinton. Well, it is a great game, worthy of a semi-final, Darren. One to really enjoy and have at, really.
Really, yeah, great shot on the last thing. I think Brett Maher's really got to step up. He hasn't done a lot in the first quarter, and it just looks like Perth are being a lot more structured with their offence, a lot more patient, and a lot stronger too. And that's one thing we spoke about at the start. They've got to be stronger to actually make a force and a real fight for this final.
Do you sense, though, that it would be difficult for Perth to maintain that for the whole of the game?
Yeah, Perth's an older team, so they're going to run out of legs eventually, and they've been shooting well. Adelaide haven't shot well in the first quarter, and I think the Adelaide's youth and mixed with experience will come up because a lot of the Americans haven't played well in the first quarter, and Perth's playing well.
We saw Stewart with that nice little hang in the air, and then the soft shot. He's important, isn't he? If he can get some hot hands going.
Yeah, Anthony doesn't have any hang at all, but that was a bad comment. But Anthony's a great shooter, and he's also a good defender too. So if Anthony can really add to the Perth lineup and start hitting some threes and shooting, doing what he's supposed to do best, that'll help for Perth, actually continuing their winning spree in the third and fourth quarter, and also the second.
Okay, thanks, Darren. It's a tight one in Game 2 of the semi-final series between the Perth Wildcats and the Adelaide 36ers. The other semi-final is in progress between the South East Melbourne Magic and the Brisbane Bullets. The Magic, of course, lead the series 1-0, and in Game 2 they have the early advantage, 15-10. It's Perth by 4 points in a game they must win to level the semi-final series. Let's return to courtside.
Thanks very much, Rob. David Graham was listening in on Phil Smythe during that quarter-time break. David, what do you have to report?
From the last time out that Phil actually called, obviously there was a change in the momentum of the game. Perth were really doing what they liked from outside. Phil was able to get that change done through his defence, and that's what he employed on his guys to continue that sort of defensive pressure. Perth were getting too many catch-and-shoot shots. What Phil has wanted now is to put more pressure on the ball, so they do have to put it on the floor. He feels that their dribble penetration isn't fantastic. It's not one of their better parts of the game except for Ricky Grace. So you'd expect to see Perth probably getting less catch-and-shoot shots in this game from now on.
All right, thanks, David. Michaels throws it away there, gives Adelaide the chance again to get on the scoreboard. They're back within 4 thanks to John Riley's buzzer-beating 3. Maher for 3 himself, and we've got a 1-point game.
I heard Darren Lucas saying that Maher had to step up, and he really didn't have a lot of good looks in that first quarter, but had plenty of time to just set himself there. And if he's got time to look, he's very, very tough as Vlahov goes to work in the low post. And Perth draw out still with that 3-point lead, 28-25 as Maher looks to penetrate to Brooks for the 3-point attempt. Too long, really keeps it alive. Great play there. Catalini with a 3 of his own.
Can't find it. Vlahov through on the boards. Oh, almost walked, not quite. 5 rebounds. Make it 6 now for Andrew Vlahov. Michael's inside. Fouled by Catalini. He'll be off to the line to shoot 2.
Catalini acknowledges that. Yes, he just got in underneath Michaels there with a body push. And here we are having replay. Just leaning forward there. You see the forearm just getting into Michael's cylinder. And that's a pushing foul. And Huey Michaels. Didn't play a lot in game 1. Unsuccessful with the first. Very short, probably a little bit nervous. But he's done some good things for Perth in his games this season. Makes the second.
And he's subbed out on the play as well. So the Wildcats are out by 4. James Crawford has checked in. Just over 10.5 minutes remaining in the second quarter. Game 2 of the semi-final series. It was Adelaide 114-97 winners in Game 1 in Perth on Friday night. Should Perth win today, we're back here Tuesday. Really. Being guarded by Stewart. Goes over Stewart. Tough shot. Makes it.
Well, this is a John Rulli we haven't seen in the first half of the season. You can just see he's playing with confidence. That was a tough shot to make. Shot the rainbow jumper over the outstretched hand. Nothing but net.
He has 9 points so far in this game. Grace sets up Fisher. The skip pass for Vlahov. Fakes Riley. Gets fouled. He'll be off to the line to shoot 3. John Riley just clipped him over the top of the head. So Anthony Stewart has a chance for 3 free throws here for the Wildcats. Darnell Mee will check back in for Adelaide. Kevin Brooks will sit down. It's always dangerous if you get faked out of the contest on that coming back. You don't want to reach in.
You do. You just want to be in the just out of the corner of the eye of the shooter. Just be there, just enough for them to know that you're around the place. Maybe make them take their eye off the target. Stewart pretty tough from the line. Makes his first.
Further update from Melbourne Park. Quarter time, Magic and Brisbane. The Southeast Melbourne Magic 23, leading Brisbane 16 in their game 2. The Magic lead that series 1-0.
Just look at the 5 out here for Adelaide at the moment. We've got Catalini, Mee, Safwell, Riley and Maher. It's not a big group.
And they are all guys, 5 guys who can shoot the 3. Rarely do you see that in any form of basketball, and they're all pretty good shooters. So, the margin back to 5. Maher being guarded by Lichty now. Safwell, Maher. Adelaide sending plenty of screens and rolling. Catalini drives, basket counts. Ricky Grace not happy with the call. The foul's not on him though. It will go, I think, against Todd Lichty, or perhaps, yeah, I think Lichty got called. Phil Smythe is told to sit down by Bill Mildenhall, who has now warned both coaches, and Catalini can finish with a 3-point play.
I think the referees tend to do that in finals. Everyone's pretty hyper and pretty psyched up about it, and the ref makes a statement. It won't work. They'll still be jumping off the bench. No one listens to refs, you know that. But Catalini with a tough drive there, and got his bonus free throw. Perth 32, Adelaide 30.
We've got a ball game here on NBL Live on the ABC. Crawford, heavy contact with Safwell, and it's called eventually.
See Rupert Safwell really D'ing up Crawford there and just getting into Crawford's cylinder. Referees deem that there's an imaginary cylinder around the player with the body. See the forearms of Safwell in there, and even though it looked like it was a charging foul, the damage from Safwell had happened well before that.
3rd team foul already in this second quarter for Adelaide. Wildcats trying to free Stewart up for the 3. Can't do so. Crawford over Safwell, banks it home. James Crawford coming to play, the veteran, here this afternoon. He's up to 9 points. Darnell Mee almost beat Grace off the dribble. Maher down the lane. Can't get it. Vlahov, great tip to Crawford there to control the rebound. Crawford now. Oh, no offensive. Almost got the steal back. Darnell Mee to Maher for 3. Yes.
Well,
Brett Maher pulling up for the 3 from a long way out, slightly off balance, still made it. That's a sign of a good shooter. He would have just adjusted in the air.
Wildcats call for time. Brett Maher, 3 of 3 from outside the three-point arc. He has 9 points, and the Wildcats' lead is cut to just 1. There's Alan Black talking to his players. We'll go to Phil Smythe's huddle in a moment. He's talking with Steve Breeny, as he always does, prior to the timeout. But the 36ers, Darryl, right back in a good timeout from Alan Black.
I think so. Just to steady the ship here and just put the brakes on an Adelaide run. Adelaide want to get up and down and play a running game. And really, Perth want to take the air out of it. We heard before that Alan Black doesn't want them taking the quick shot, Perth. He wants to get a good quality shot and maximise their advantages.
Here's Phil Smythe.
Way to weather the storm. What will help us and what has helped us is making them put it on the floor. Everybody's got to get on the boards. Defensively, we're a smaller unit, but we're quick up and down. Okay, here we go.
He spoke to his players there for 10 seconds of the 1-minute timeout. David Graham, Alan Black, spoke for a little longer. What did he have to say?
Again, Alan concerned with the 36ers' ability to actually come down off the break and shoot an open 3-point shot. They open up pretty well from outside there with Brooks hitting a couple from outside. And Alan obviously concerned with that now. So trying to get his guys to stop that from happening. Offensively, looking to run a couple more sets for Andrew Vlahov. Vlahov is just crashing the boards like a man possessed at the moment, and looking to give him every opportunity to use his size and his strength.
Shot clock down to 7. Grace for Vlahov. Has 4 to shoot. He spins inside and tips it home. Andrew Vlahov having a much better game than Friday night and gives the Wildcats the lead by 3. That was tough on the glass. John Riley now. Vlahov has 9. Sapwell for 3.
Look at Sapwell. Pinpoint accuracy off the bank there. Stewart finds Lichty, the pull-up jumper from the baseline. He's short and really on the break for the board.
Adelaide can take the lead. They were down by as many as 9. Maher to do it again. Not quite. And their crowd getting involved. Grace. We're all tied here at the Powerhouse.
I think this game's going to be just a situation of mismatches. If you can get an ascendancy here, see Crawford and Sapwell, Rupert doing a good job. James with a bit of a spring advantage as Vlahov gets a bullet-like pass from Grace on the back cut. Puts it away, and Adelaide have just got to probe around and find some weaknesses here in a very torrid Perth defence.
Sapwell. Really. Maher, great fake. And the finish. All tied up again at Melbourne Park. It's the Magic over Brisbane, 25-21 early in the second. Wildcats, they have to weather the storm. Vlahov spinning, falling away, short. Adelaide can take the lead. Brett Maher has Catalini there. Vlahov got in the way. Alan Black calls for a sub. Greg Smith will check in along with Scott Fisher. Andrew Vlahov and Anthony Stewart will sit down. And Andrew Vlahov, he's come to play, hasn't he?
Oh, definitely. His experience and his vigour. And the skipper of the Wildcats, you just knew that he was coming ready to match up hard physically and give Adelaide nothing easy except for that jump shot.
Yeah, it was for 2. It missed. He didn't have the advantage of the backboard on that occasion. Rupert Sapwell. Grace slices his way down the lane. Magnificent to watch there by Ricky Grace. Restores the lead for the Wildcats. He has 5 points and 3 assists.
Just Adelaide caught napping there on defence. No help at all for Darnell Mee as Maher looks to penetrate. Mee with a 3 of his own.
Adelaide in front. It's been a good fight back from them. They got themselves caught in the little hole. We're down 9 and then 4 at the quarter. But now, halfway through the second period, they take the lead. Grace being guarded by Darnell Mee, beats him off the dribble and blows baseline, can't finish it off. Crawford there, he can't finish it either. Darnell Mee again for Adelaide. Crawford comes up with a loose ball. The crowd falls silent and Crawford travels.
Just a misunderstanding there between Crawford. James looked to throw the ball up court to Ricky Grace. He wasn't in a position to get it. A bit of a stutter step from James. He knew exactly that he'd violated there. So Adelaide get a welcome possession.
The applause in the background for Rupert Sapwell sitting down. The crowd impressed with his effort this evening, or this afternoon. I hope you're enjoying it live wherever you're watching it around the country. Plenty of Adelaide fans tuning in. John Riley from the baseline over Smith. Oh, magnificent shot from John Riley.
Well, John Riley's
He has 11.
He spent the last 20 seconds trying to get open there on Smith. Smith working him hard. Just shot the fadeaway as Crawford, from a long way out, comes up short.
Grace tapped it away. Wouldn't be surprised if Alan Black calls for another timeout soon, because his team are down by 3. He still has a couple of timeouts remaining in the first half. Fancy if Adelaide score here, he might want to talk it over.
I think Perth just need a better shot than the last one.
Brooks was short, but Rees fouled by Grace. Off to the line to shoot 2, no goaltend. The ball's still on its way up. Here it is.
Paul Rees fouled down low. Ball still on the way up.
And Alan Black will talk it over with his team. 5:07, yes, Daryl, we called that correctly. 5:07 remaining in the first half. The 36 is out by 3 points, 43-40. Let's go and hear what Alan Black has to say now.
Hey, defence, really hurting us down low, all right? We've got to get up and into it, and we've got to do a much better job of getting that done. Run him, all right? We've got to deny him. How far? He's getting it off the block and back to the centre, and they're either turned around or kicking it to open man, right? Don't let him get the ball now. And when you switch, get out to me, get up and into it, all right? I don't want to see guys catch and shoot the 3. Okay, let's go back and run some 5 now, all right? Run it to Fish. Reverse the ball, Dewey set the pick, and then get down the basket. Let's go. Guys, come on now.
There's Alan Black, the coach of the Wildcats. Both teams shooting at a fairly even clip from the field. The 36ers 15 of 35, the Wildcats 16 of 35. David Graham, what did Phil Smythe have to say during his 10-second timeout?
A couple of things Phil made clear in that timeout, wanting to go with a 2-man game with 2 of their guards, as in Brooks and probably either Catalini. The second thing he wanted to do was to continue to push the ball up the floor. He feels that his team with the younger legs, given that they've played less than 48 hours ago, have got the advantage on Perth. So trying to get them a little bit tight is also at the back of Phil Smythe's mind.
All right, good point. Thanks, David. Paul Rees, just a 58% free throw shooter this season. Lives up to that with 1 of 2 there. It's a good point, isn't it, about the fresher legs?
Oh, exactly. I think it is to Adelaide's advantage. But usually older legs have more experienced and wiser minds, so it's a bit of a balance there.
You're getting deeply philosophical. Smith.
I played till I was very old, so I sympathise with veterans.
You had to find a theory, didn't you?
Yeah.
Fisher, Lichty, off the screen from Michaels. That's what Todd Lichty has to do. Knocks it down.
Let's have a look at Perth's defence here. We heard Alan Black saying, hey, more perimeter pressure, and can't afford to get guys like John Riley just easy shots. Let's see the pressure on the perimeter here from Perth.
Maher off the screen. The kick out, good ball movement. Darnell Mead finds a hole. Can't follow it. Gee, almost contact there with Michaels, who throws it away. John Riley for 3 again.
Well, chalked the 3 down to Darnell Mead steal, caught the ball on the intercept, kept it alive, and John Riley didn't let his teammate down.
He has 14 points on 5 of 6 shooting from the field and a couple of free throws. Wildcats down by 5. Michael spinning inside. The hook. Airball. Maher. Too many grey shirts in front. John was thinking of shooting from there. He's hot. Not this time, and Michaels pulls it in. Wildcats must score on this trip as we come up on 3.5 minutes remaining. Oh, great pass for Fisher from Smith. That was beautiful. Just saw that Fisher had a half a metre on Brooks, and that was all that Greg Smith needed. And it was a good, easy score for Perth too. They didn't have to work too hard on it. Lee being guarded by Grace. And he stepped out of bounds. Good help defense by Dwayne Michaels stepping on the end line. And the Wildcats will have the basketball with Andrew Vlahov coming back in. There it is there. That's where you've got to get as a defensive player, don't you? Get on that end line.
Exactly. I mean, as we always said, even from juniors, the baseline's the third defender there. And just corralled Darnell Mead into a small space. He ran out of court and the turnover. So Perth with a chance here to get it back maybe level it with the 3.
Turnovers 5 apiece so far. Both coaches would be relatively happy. Had 10 each on Friday. Grace from a long way out. Ricky Grace ties it up for 3. Good call, Daryl. We're doing this one well. Scores level. The NBL on ABC. Hope you're enjoying it. The grand final starts next Sunday live at 4. Really? John, really?
Well, he's come ready to play. He's just firing on all cylinders. Another big 3 from Riley.
And Darnell Mee with the steal. He has Brooks running. He has Riley. The handoff for Paul Rees. They might slow it down. Maher to double the lead. Not quite. Both teams exciting when they get going. Lichty. Beautiful. The margin back to 1. This could become a shootout. Phil Smythe wants to talk it over. 2:02 remaining in the first half, and Adelaide lead in a beauty by 1, 50-49. John Riley, though, the story so far with 17 points, 3 rebounds, and a couple of assists. He is 6 of 8 from the field, and he is feeling it.
Oh, exactly. You see Phil Smythe and his coaching staff just talking about it. Phil doesn't spend much time actually talking to his players. Doesn't fire too many details to them. Basically, they know what's going
on. The Crows firing some goodies into the crowd.
It's Murray Magpie, mate.
Murray Magpie, sorry. Here's Phil Smythe.
Couple of substitutions. If it's Crawford, you've got him for Michaels. I want to play some two-man game with Johnny and Kemp, or Johnny and the big fella. All right, so we're in our 4 out, 1 in. Either play some two-man game, Johnny, with the big fella. If you don't want it, send him out of there, or with Kemp. Okay, but don't stand and watch. Keep moving. Let's go. Okay, transition's going to kill him.
Right, that's the word from Phil Smythe. David Graham, what about Alan Black?
A couple of things that Alan was concerned with that time. He felt that still the defence was letting their shooters too much leeway from outside of the key, so a lot more pressure he's asking his guys to put on out there. The other thing that he wanted to do was to utilise Perth's size and muscle inside the keyway. They're probably still playing too much of an outside game by utilising Fisher, Crawford, and particularly Vlahov. Now that Vlahov's back on the court, then their muscle inside should help to just sort of overpower Adelaide a little bit more.
Brooks for 3. Margin out to 4 now. Adelaide on top. But Vlahov is left all alone inside to cut it back to 2.
Just Perth keep answering every basket, don't they? Yep. Adelaide can't get a break on them.
Just staying close. Catalini now.
Back this way, back
Darnell Mee. Here Phil Smythe yelling in the background. Grace strips it off Mee. Vlahov and Darnell Mee go 1-on-1. Vlahov with 3 fakes, but a foul on the play. He's off to the line to shoot 2. I'll wait to see who's the foul is called on. It goes on Brooks.
Interesting footwork here from Andrew Vlahov too. It seemed like he may have changed his pivot foot there. And of course the whole Adelaide crowd, 8,500 people thought that was all ball. The referee
and they're not one-eyed either.
Not at all. The referee disagreed, and Vlahov.
They are the most parochial crowd in the country.
Interesting player, Andrew Vlahov. His success and his worth to the team isn't always measured in points. He's a role player and a very major part of their team, but today he's cranked it up.
Look at his numbers this afternoon. 14 points, 8 rebounds. He was 4 of 10 for the game, 4 and 10 for the game on Friday night. This for 15 points and a tie.
A lot of these guys from Perth have played a lot of finals. They've never played in a poor team coming out of Perth. They know what it takes to win finals and be in finals.
Yep, very successful club. 3-time champions this decade. Once runner-up, also runner-up in 87. All square inside of a minute to go of the first half. Brooks draws the foul from Vlahov. He'll be off to the line to shoot 2. Now Andrew Vlahov saying I'm up straight there, but I fancy that he stepped inside after Brooks had gone up. Let's have a look.
Yeah, that's just one where really the offense outsmarts the defense, gets him off balance, get him jumping into you, and as we see there, Andrew Vlahov trying every possible trick not to cause contact, and just didn't have quite the balance, and Brooks, with that NBA experience, took advantage.
He actually started in 20 games for the Denver Nuggets. Was their first pick back in the draft in 91-92. Scored 20 points against Detroit one night. Makes a couple of free throws there. And that's the margin. 18-second difference between the shot and the game clock. So Perth might try and release before the 30-second mark to go 2 for 1. Here's Vlahov. That was tapped away by Adelaide. Stewart lets it go. 34 seconds remaining in the half. 16 on the shot clock. So they won't be able to go 2 for 1 now. Adelaide will get the last shot of the opening 24 minutes. And it's been a fantastic start to this match. Stewart, the kick out for Grace. Shot clock at 5. Grace. Oh, that's from a mile out. A good 2 metres beyond the arc gives Perth the lead. Here's the final shot of the first half. Grace has 11 for Perth. And now Adelaide to try and take the lead as they head for the locker room. And Mark Davis is left alone, but misses. Catalini, yes! Fisher will get it off. Stewart, that won't count. The basket is waved off. And at half-time, in semi-final number 2, Adelaide lead by 1. They scored 35-30 in the second quarter. And at half-time, lead 57-56. If Adelaide win this, they're off to the grand final. David Graham has the assistant coach for the 36ers, Steve Breeny, standing by.
Steve, fantastic first half of basketball. You're a point up. How do you feel?
Yeah, obviously they were going to come out and give it the best shot, which they have the first half. We've weathered the storm, and hopefully we'll be able to go on from there.
You're trying to push the ball at the floor as hard as you can. Obviously, Perth trying to slow it down to try to obviously offset the way that you guys play.
They're bigger and bulkier, plus slower, so obviously we'd like it to be a running, quick game, and then they want a slow game.
Second half, what are we likely to expect?
I think pretty much the same. I don't think it'll be a big margin in the end, and whoever gets the ball to roll their way will win.
That's all we got from Steve Breeny. Thanks, Steve.
Thanks,
all right, thank you, gentlemen. There's the stats to half-time. Individually, John Riley, 17 for the 36ers. Maher has 11, Catalini 8. Vlahov leads Perth with 15. Grace 11. Fisher and Crawford 9 apiece. Darryl, what do you make out of that? Both teams shooting the ball excellent from the three-point line. Adelaide perhaps slightly down from inside the arc. Aside from that, it's pretty even.
Yeah, you wouldn't expect Adelaide to replicate their three-point percentage from the other night. That was outstanding, and they're shooting pretty well, but their field goal percentage, they've missed a few easy gimmies underneath. Free throw percentage, pretty good from both teams. Wildcats letting themselves down a little bit, but not too many free throws. And apart from that, the rebounds are pretty even. Game's pretty even. Even game.
Even game. There's only 1 point in it. We better let you go. You're going to be introduced to the crowd as one of the all-time legends here of Adelaide as part of their 20th anniversary team. So, Rob, as we hand back to yourself and Darren Lucas for our halftime report, it's Adelaide by 1 in a beauty, 57-56.
Good on you, Clinton, and Darren, one we're really enjoying. And there have been some wonderful performances. Great to see Andrew Vlahov back in such wonderful form. He's been very influential in that first half.
Yeah, I think since his injury, he's been a bit quiet. And with Andrew's experience overseas and in the Australian finals, he's starting to play well and he's starting to be strong and I suppose be dominant. I mean, Perth really needs someone to step up and be seen as a leader. And I think Andrew's always been that, but his injuries sort of held him back over the last year. But that's great. Yeah, he's been playing well. Really
had a slow start to the year for Adelaide. I suppose he wasn't necessarily needed while Maher's been in such good form. But, just entered the fray there and was playing terrifically well with his, he's got 17 points there, the game high score at the moment.
Yeah, he can shoot from way out. And I don't know why when you're defending a player like that, he's not the sort of player to drive you to the hoop. He's the sort of guy that's going to shoot from 2 metres out, or as we saw, to do 2 fadeaways. So, I think if you play him hard defence and up front, you'd stop him. But he's just shooting the ball unbelievably well. I mean, Adelaide, the only thing that's saving them really is their 3-point shooting. Brett Wheeler's shooting the ball well this quarter after I bagged in the first quarter.
Brett Maher.
Yeah, Brett Maher.
And any discernible trends, Darren? I mean, it's so tight at the moment, but we've got Adelaide trying to take advantage of Perth through transition, and Perth perhaps trying to use their strength. But any discernible trends for you?
I can see Perth, their strength is showing out, but I think as the coach said, the assistant coach there said, they really need to run Perth. And I think if Adelaide start running, they haven't really run the Wildcats yet. And I think that's part of the reason why Perth is playing their strength and playing a strong, hard game. It's slowing Adelaide up, and they really need to get into that.
Okay. Well, someone's mobile phone ringing. Is that yours?
I think it is.
That's your wife on the phone, is it?
It's my grandmother.
It's your grandmother's 93rd birthday today, so perhaps she's on the blower.
Yeah.
Now, can you see either of these sides beating Magic, assuming Magic, as they're the favoured team, will get a score in that game 2 against the Magic and the Bullets? Can you see either of these teams getting near the Magic?
Well, Phil Smythe doesn't see Magic as a hard team to beat, but I think Adelaide are probably the only team that can beat Magic if they're all shooting well, if Riley's shooting well, if Brett's shooting well. Mark Davis has got to play up to himself and have everyone else playing. But I think Perth will lose legs. I don't think Perth's age is going to help them if they go to the Magic. All
right. Well, gee, it's tight at the moment. Thanks very much, Darren. And we've got a 1-point game in game 2 of the semi-final series between Adelaide and Perth. Adelaide just with their noses in front. We're making some assumptions about the Southeast Melbourne Magic being the team that either Adelaide or Perth has to beat. They lead their series 1-0 against the Brisbane Bullets. Game 2 is underway now, and assumptions in sport are very dangerous. Let's check the score now in that match between the Southeast Melbourne Magic and the Brisbane Bullets. It's being played in Melbourne, and the Bullets are making a very good account of themselves at the moment. They lead the Magic by 3, 35-32. Well, Scott Fisher was definitely the player of the series when the Wildcats and Illawarra met in the quarterfinals. Scott's also performing very well in the series here against the 36ers, and here's a quick timeout with the Fish.
I think the Perth Wildcats are the team to beat this year, but other than that, you'd probably have to look at the Melbourne Tigers. I like playing my saxophone and playing with my dogs and watching old movies.
Stewart with nowhere to go, gets it finally to Fisher and makes a left-hand hook from down low. So fairly lucky there for Stewart that Fisher was able to sense the fact that he was in trouble and get in a good position.
Career highlight, the championships, of course, and the Olympics in '96. If I could invite any 3 people to dinner, I'd like to spend some time with Jesus Christ, Leonardo da Vinci, and perhaps Albert Einstein. Not that he'd be all that interesting, but I'd like to be in the same room as somebody with a brain like that. But I'd have to bring it forth. I need a translator because I can't speak Hebrew or Italian. My favorite holiday destination would have to be Coral Bay up here in northern Western Australia. I've had a few injuries, but my worst was certainly last year's knee injury. It kept me out the entire season.
We go at about 6 seconds. There he goes now, looking for Stewart in the corner. Goes inside to Fisher. Great option. Fisher makes it. That is the end of the quarter. Watching it live. I love it live.
Well, we're very live. You don't rehearse Darren Lucas's mobile phone going off like that. And it's half-time between the Adelaide 36ers and Perth, and Adelaide lead by 1. Now, as you may know, former Magic player and current Dallas Maverick Chris Anstey is back in Australia at the moment. And Chris will be at the Great Australian Shootout in Melbourne from Saturday the 27th of June until Friday the 3rd of July. Now, the shootout doubles as the Australian Under-20 Championships and will be held at the Melbourne Sports and Aquatic Centre. Tickets can be purchased from the Sports and Aquatic Centre, and you can contact the Victorian Basketball Association if you require more information. Now, we've got an update for you in the game between, who are they playing? The Southeast Melbourne Magic and the Bullets. Let's go to a half-time score for you. And pretty tight there, 42 plays 40 in that game. So the Magic just with their noses in front. Now, it's tight. You're still sticking with Adelaide?
Yeah, I think Perth's legs will run out. They're a good experienced side, but I think Adelaide are younger, more experienced. I think Adelaide will win.
Okay, thanks very much. Darren Lucas, the former Magic, very tough defensive nut, is our guest here this afternoon as we enjoy Game 2 of the semi-final series between Perth and Adelaide. They're two good sides. They've played a ripper first half. Let's see if they can continue the action in the second as we rejoin Clinton Grovis courtside.
So 57-56 here at half-time. And what a first half it was. And with the Wildcats, basically, there is no tomorrow. The season on the line for them. Win, and we're back here Tuesday. Losing, they're not. And Rob, I heard you say that there are no certainties in sport. Certainly, we weren't expecting that Adelaide would walk over this one, but I don't think we thought that the Wildcats would come out breathing as much. Well, I guess we didn't think they'd come out breathing fire. We didn't know whether they could match it up, but certainly they have done so, and plenty of Adelaide fans packed into the powerhouse here today, and they're enjoying the action. Daryl Pearce is back with me after the half-time entertainment. You've been presented with a nice, wonderful little tank by the looks of it, and David Graham's wandering around to get us an interview or two. It's a great team, the Adelaide team. You may as well read it out to let everyone know.
Mate, I'm still off the bench. Can't start any team.
Al Green in the team, Peter Ally, some great names.
Yeah, a lot of the 86 championship team. Al Green, Bill Jones, Mark Brecky was in there too. Not the championship team, but in the all-time. Leon Trimmingham, Phil Smythe, of course. And, a few legendary names there. Davis and Smythe, of course, just recently named in the all-time best 10.
And Brett Maher as well. Let's go, though, to David Graham, who's standing by with coach of the Wildcats, Alan Black.
Alan, you're down by a point. Obviously, a lot better performance defensively than what you guys were able to pull out on Friday night.
Yeah, I think our team defence is a whole lot better. They're still shooting the ball very, very well. 11 of 20 from the three-point line. But I think we're rotating better to the open shooters, and bar a couple of turnovers that cost us, I think we've done a pretty good job.
So what are your instructions at half-time to the guys, obviously, to get to the open shooters?
Yeah, I think this third quarter is going to be a really important one. I think this is where Adelaide traditionally have really run riot. So we need to do a really good job of closing out shooters, and John Riley's having a hell of a game.
Any suggestion as far as fitness of the guys are concerned?
Oh, not at all. No, everyone's fit and we'll be fine. Fitness won't be a factor. It's whether we can shut down their shooters and keep them to a losing score.
Great, thanks. Good luck for the second half, Alan.
Thanks very much, David Graham, and also thanks to the coach of the Wildcats, Alan Black. Their fitness won't be a factor, says Alan Black. Do we believe him?
Well, fitness is probably not the word for it. If a team isn't fit by this stage of the season, they've got some real problems, and they'd question their pre-season. But I think the fatigue factor, it's been a long season. The injury factor, I would have thought would have been a negative for Adelaide coming into this series with a few bad injuries. But at this stage, both teams, it's going to be a slugfest, and by the fourth quarter, just due to the impact and the physical presence of these players and the banging and hitting, I think that's the important thing, and who's going to recover the best from that and make smart decisions down the track.
John Riley has 17 points to half-time, shooting the ball outstanding fashion from the three-point line. They have made 11 of 20 from the three-point territory to this stage. Can they continue to shoot the ball well from outside, and will they live or die by that in this second half?
Well, it's a mental game. John Riley sort of had a quiet first half of the season. He's bounced back. He's found his little niche there. And Adelaide are predominantly an outside team. They'd want to shoot the ball very well because that's their forte. And I think they can continue as long as they're positive. And, of course, the way to counter that, Perth are trying to crank up their perimeter defence and put more pressure and get a hand on the shooters.
We've spoken a lot about Andrew Vlahov during the course of the match. He would have been disappointed Friday night, just 4 points and 10 rebounds. He has 15 points and 8 rebounds to half-time. He's a perennial winner, isn't he? Some players have the winner tag to them. He is one of those players.
Well, he's played his whole career at Perth, and he is a winner, and his teams have always been winning teams, and I think that anyone with a competitive edge wants to get out there and play hard and win. And this game, this is their last hurrah. Lose this, they're out, and they're going to come out fighting.
All right, well, before we go to the tip-off, just a few seconds. Basically, who's going to win from here?
I think Adelaide can do it. I think they've just got to be smart down the stretch. If they win the third quarter by whatever, going in with the lead in the fourth quarter, I think their home crowd can bring them home. If Perth get a lead by three-quarter time, they're a real big chance. And then mentally, if they can take it to 3 games, I'd say that the pendulum would probably swing their way.
In the second quarter, the 36ers outscored the Wildcats 35-30. Perth led by 4 at the first break, but at half-time it's just 1. Recapping the news that Brisbane lead the Magic in a tight one. Should Brisbane or Perth win, both of those series will have a deciding game on Tuesday night. Should Adelaide and the Magic win, they will play next Sunday live at 4 in Grand Final Game 1. And don't forget Sunday basketball every Sunday morning on your ABC at 9:30, the live wrap of the league action and all the gossip from around the NBL. So we hope you can join us Sunday mornings at 9:30. And next week, the Grand Final at 4. The Wildcats in grey control the tip. They're off to the left of screen. And they have a 1-point deficit confronting them as we get underway for the second 24 minutes. Slow down offense to start. Fisher over Maher. Can't find it. Brooks the rebound.
It's a very important part of the game. The team that can get off to a good start in the second half may be able to set themselves up for a win. As Maher to Reese. Maher was double teamed, slipped it off to Reese. And Paul Reese with the easy lay-in.
Good step from the big man. Puts Adelaide out by 3. Crawford. Steps inside, tough shot, can't get it. Fisher kept it alive. Vlahov with the follow. Can't get it. Grace is sitting out. Thought about the 3, decided against it. The Wildcats, their season could be over in less than an hour. They have to win here. Grace on the drive. The give for Fisher is good. He should finish. He gets it blocked. Brooks and Rees there getting a hand in it to force it away.
About 3 Adelaide guys wanted that block and an interception.
Yeah, that was a bad pass. Catalini, it was cut off by Crawford. Fisher, Lichty on the pull-up. And Todd Lichty knocks it down for 2.
You see just defensively before Kevin Brooks with the job on Scott Fisher. Really working hard, trying to front Fisher in the post rather than play behind.
Lichty with 8 points. Margin back to 1. Tension mounting in the powerhouse as Mee goes for 2.
Just too easy for Darnell there, not enough pressure.
Vlahov. Wildcats have got to keep scoring here. Crawford. The fall back. Can't bank it home. Good use of the body by Brooks. Blocked out Vlahov on the boards. And he carries. No foul is called on Grace.
Ricky Grace just saying to Bill Mildenhall, look, I reckon he carried that. And a bit of ball handling skills there from the NBA to Kevin Brooks. Actually picked it up.
There it is. Oh, you've got to call that.
Just cupped it. If you're gaining an advantage, it's probably got to be called. But it was allowed to go away. And the foul eventually on Ricky Grace.
Brooks for 3. That'll be big.
See, a player of Kevin Brooks' calibre, you just can't let him stand up, toe up on the three-point line and just ding away. It's going to go down every time. Got to have someone closing that out, at least carrying a hand.
A tired Wildcats being forced to work. Plenty of contact there between Vlahov and Brooks. No whistle. The refs letting them play in the semi-final. Vlahov now. The hand inside. Fisher, tough shot, makes it. They needed that. They were down by 6. And in danger of just slipping away early in the third, but Fisher delivers.
Just Fisher, it's just non-stop, turning over his left shoulder, turning right, and just that fade away. Got to force him another way.
He has 11, Brett Maher. Martin Catalini for 3. Adelaide continue to knock them down from outside. The margin now 7. Crawford for 2 from the foul line, short. Maher the rebound. Catalini running. Fisher gets in the way. Gee, Alan Black would breathe a sigh of relief there with that steal. Now Vlahov couldn't make the 3. And Brett Maher will slow it down.
It's probably not the shot that Perth really need, to be honest. And they really need to work it around and try and find a mismatch in there, get it to Crawford in the post or get it to someone free without a defender carrying a hand. As Maher gets it to Reese, knocked out of his hand. It's still an Adelaide ball.
Now Alan Black using one of his 3 timeouts for the second half, and he has to use it early. 8:20 remaining in the third quarter. Adelaide 67, the Wildcats 60. So Alan Black with some work to do. We've talked about the Wildcats being fatigued. Adelaide didn't have to play in the quarterfinals. The benefit of having a 19-11 regular season where they finished second. Perth did beat Illawarra in 2 games. But the older leagues perhaps tiring here. Let's have a listen to Phil Smythe now as he goes to address his team.
Guys, right now it's the defense that's doing it for us. We're doing a great job on D. That's giving us a transition. The penetration, kick
That's the word from Phil Smythe. David Graham, Alan Black, what's he talking about to his team? They're getting tired.
Well, what's been happening on the court, if it's not obvious to our viewers out there, is that Perth aren't playing the sort of defence they need to play. What's happening is Adelaide are penetrating and Perth are double teaming the man with the ball. Now, what happens from that point is that the rest of the team have to pick up their men and rotate one position around, and Perth haven't been doing that. What that does, it enables Adelaide to have their shooters free on the outside. They've been getting the ball too much, shooting the three-point shot, so that's what Alan is concerned about. And hopefully now he's got that rotation fixed up so there's no more free three-pointers from Adelaide.
2 seconds on the shot clock. Brooks forced it away. It was never going to go. Adelaide on a 10-4 run. Perth hoping to stop that. Grace on the fake. Short terribly. Knocked out by the Wildcats. Now, all the Wildcats thought it ricocheted off the hand of an Adelaide player. Let's have a look. There's the shot from Grace, and it was touched.
Yep, off Paul Reese's hand.
Paul Reese. So the 36ers get a break there. They're up by 7. Heavy contact off the screen from Darnell Mead. Maher for 2. Oh, that's tough.
Very athletic Brett Maher got into the air hard and strong. Made no mistake at the 2.
Adelaide biggest lead of the night. Vlahov kicks it out for Lichty. Wildcats have to score. And Vlahov delivers a 3. He is having an outstanding afternoon. 18 points now. And that cuts the lead. Back to 6. Now, can they get a stop at the defensive end? Adelaide scoring at will almost. Catalini. Oh, stripped away by Vlahov.
When you're taking too much time to make your move like Catalini did there, your 4 teammates just stand. Yep, Vlahov seized the moment, double teamed. Gee, Darnell Mead getting a piece of Crawford's arm there, I think.
Yes, Crawford thought so as well. So Adelaide get a couple of breaks. Maher. Catalini glides his way through for 2.
It looked like pass from Maher. Found Catalini going right down the lane. And just the easy layup from the athletic Catalini.
He has 13 points, 3 rebounds and 3 assists. Adelaide out by 8. Todd Lichty goes one-on-one with Maher. Fisher strong on the rebound, held off Catalini. Here's Vlahov. Grace from long range. Oh, Ricky Grace has stepped up as well this afternoon. He has 14 points. That's a big 3.
Pretty decent defence there from Darnell Mead. Got a hand at his face and from a long way out, probably 2 feet further out than what Ricky Grace would normally shoot. Nothing but cord.
Just a super game of basketball. Hope you're enjoying it. The NBL on ABC. Maher. Shot clock down to 10. Adelaide have run it down a couple of times. Paul Rees on the hook. Oh! They like that. The big man with all the grace and finesse from someone a lot smaller there.
Didn't play a lot in game 1, and I think he's showing the coach that he wants to play.
Crawford open for 2. He normally makes those. He was way off there. JC struggling with his last couple of attempts. Darnell Mead. Oh, Vlahov goes down. Maher. Skip for Brooks. Thank goodness. Here's 202 centimetres. Rees again.
That's just a great pass from Darnell Mead. You see the Perth defence swarming there, the double team. Left someone open, and that someone was Paul Rees.
The margin back to 9. 5 minutes to go. 3rd quarter. Crawford has to deliver here. Lichty for 2. Darnell Mead the rebound. Brett Maher. Oh, he thought about it. Dribbles into traffic. Brooks. That's for 3. Biggest lead of the game. He gives the AFL goal umpire signal as well. Adelaide are pumped. They're out by 12 now. 4.5 minutes remaining as the powerhouse erupts. They have come out gunning in this 3rd quarter. Let's go to Alan Black's huddle.
Man on a score. Right? Trap the man on a score. Rick, you take the top of it and then just stay with me on the rotations. Let's be aggressive on there. You're at the back of it, stay at home. All right, stay at home. Be careful about coming out. We don't want anything easy there. Yeah, all right, so we're in trap, back to man, otherwise we're man. Let's up the ante offensively now. We're in fist. We're in fist.
They look across corner to this guy over here.
Yeah, that's
There's nobody on there. If you're the second guy back here, you're going to this sideline.
Who's got it?
Fastest out there, I'll go out and you go there.
Okay.
Yeah, let's go. We're in fist now. Hey, let's go, boys. Come on.
Come on now.
Alan Black has just one timeout remaining. David Graham, what did Phil Smythe say there?
He was just setting out his defensive matchups. He placed all his players on particular people, barring subs. Now, the problem that Perth obviously have got is that they're not getting their scorers down low. Vlahov's probably the best option down close, but the problem there is that Brooks is actually guarding him. Now, Brooks' work ethic on defense is absolutely fantastic down low, probably one of the best centre defenders in the league so far, and with Vlahov being guarded by him, they're going to have problems.
Stewart for three. Can't get it. Darnell Mee the rebound. So things coming apart here for the Wildcats in the third quarter. They've been outscored 21-10. Maher down the middle. Can't finish it. That was off Fisher. Lichty keeps it alive. Halftime score at Melbourne Park. The Magic by 2, 42-40. We'll keep you posted. The Magic over Brisbane, 42-40 at halftime. If the Magic win, they're off to the grand final series, which starts here on ABC next Sunday. Grace gets by Darnell Mee and banks it in for 2. That's a good shot.
Ricky Grace just with a soft floater, little runner, and that's his trademark shot. As John really looks at the three, decides against it. And Adelaide just regrouping here. 10-point lead. They're in no hurry to get a quick low percentage shot as Brooks backs in Todd Lichty, kicks it out to Darnell Mee for the 3. But Sapwell comes up with the offensive board.
And the foul is going to be on Vlahov. He gave John Rulli the shove. In turn, the contact there was with Sapwell.
Well, Vlahov got rid of 2 of them, I think, so there's one.
There it is.
Jeffrey Weeks, their referee, right on the spot. Just a little bit agricultural there from Andrew Vlahov. They're the ones you've got to do in a sneaky way. It's pretty hard to get away with.
Is there any way you can do it sneaky, though, with the referee just half a foot away? I mean, tell us, you played 374 games or thereabouts. Tell us the
Yeah,
one.
well, I wasn't known for my vigour, I know that much. So, finesse player.
I like that. Darnell Mee gets bumped by Ricky Grace. He acknowledges the foul. I don't think he was all that happy, but he acknowledged it.
Yeah, it's soft one, but if that contact causes a guy to walk out of court, then you've got to call it. You can't call a violation. So, pretty obvious result of that sort of contact.
Third on Perth this quarter. None for Adelaide as yet. 3:15 remaining in the third. The margin is 10 points. This is Brooks. That's off. That's way off. Lichty the rebound. Vlahov is running. Lichty gives it to Stewart instead. It's a 3-on-3. Fisher for 3. Oh, well, the Wildcats all of a sudden are back within 7 as Scott Fisher hits from outside.
See, both teams are trying to penetrate and dish, draw the defence, find the outside man. As we see Maher.
There's the penetration dish, and Brooks finishes.
And really, the fittest team at the end of the game is going to have enough leg speed to do that penetration.
You should coach as well as commentate, player agent, and be an all-star teams, Darryl. Here's Lichty. Foul off the ball will go against Sapwell for holding on to Fisher. How are your players going, the ones that you manage? Can you give us any scoops on where they're heading?
Well, a couple of free agents at the end of the year, but that's not really of any interest to our viewers. I don't think too controversial.
Yeah, sure. Davis checks in for Adelaide. Brett Maher will sit down, so they go with a slightly bigger lineup here with Sapwell, Davis and Brooks into the lineup. Lichty gets it quickly from Stewart. Adelaide caught napping. They were talking about who they're picking up. And there's a couple of free throws coming up for Perth.
Phil Smythe pretty disappointed with his fellas just not being in sync here. We see the ball coming in.
And look, they're just standing around talking, and then bang, the pass came in, and Sapwell now arguing with Ray Hunt, saying we weren't ready. Lichty off to the line to shoot 2.
Perhaps the referee should have said ready Mr. Music or something like that.
Yes, that's right. Lichty goes 2 of 2, and the margin is back to 7. If they can have it back within 5 by or maybe even closer by the end of the quarter, the Wildcats. They will be on good terms with themselves.
I think under 10 and there are chances. Dunham will get to the Davis, the fumbles.
And they get the steal they needed. Vlahov to Stewart. Has Licky wide. Stewart will go himself down the middle. Oh, the finger roll is sensational. The Wildcats showing all of their resolve and determination here. Have it back to within 5.
Wildcats on a bit of a roll. I just sense that a little bit of familiarity here. They're used to winning finals. On a little bit of a roll. And Adelaide now have to crank it up. Make a difference.
Darnell Mee for 2. Misses. Vlahov hard. Tough inside, Adelaide ball. Mark Davis played big there.
We talk about players that are used to playing in finals or big games, and it's Mark Davis here.
Yep. What a basketball he's played.
He doesn't. His body doesn't know how old it is, and if there's a ball that's loose in the clutch of a game, Davis will find a way of getting it.
He'll be 38 in December of this year, Mark Davis. Sapwell from the baseline. That's for 2 from Davis. Vlahov the rebound. Well, Perth, the champion team they are, although Licky misses the 3 there. That would have made things very interesting. Darnell Mee crosses the timeline and sees Davis inside, but he's fouled by Todd Licky. Licky not happy with the call. That's 4-2 this term in the fouls. Bill Mildenhall right there. Let's have a look, Darryl.
Licky coming over the back.
Well, I think Todd Licky got all ball. Maybe Grace might have caught arm, but it seemed clean Licky from behind.
Yeah, just low percentage defence there. Just Licky caught out of position and Grace. 99 out of 100 times that would be a foul, so human nature says a foul will be called. As Davis short arms that. His team needs all the points they can get. They need a good lead going into the 4th quarter, I think, because this Perth team is the experienced finals team.
Davis will sit down Catalini on. The margin is 6. It did get out to 10 points, the lead. In this 3rd quarter, Adelaide lead by as many as 10. And it's back to 6 now, so they will be very happy, the Wildcats, to score another couple here. Grace tries to bank it in again, missed it. Mee the rebound. This could be big. 3-on-2 Adelaide. But Fisher gets back. Brooks, though, turns around and hits the 3.
Well, there's a man that's really feeling it. He's stroking from the outside. One pass, pull up 3. Here he is again. Long way out.
Minute left in the 3rd. Vlahov having an outstanding afternoon. He's up to 20 points. Margin is 7 as we count it down on the end of the 3rd period. Perth trying to keep their season alive. If you've just joined us, Adelaide playing for a spot in the grand final. They've been in the grand final just once this decade, and the ball came off John Riley.
I mean, body language tells a lot. The ball's deflected off. Really, let's have a look at this. Perhaps it did go from Vlahov's leg to Riley's hand. Anyway, it doesn't matter. That's history now, and Perth, 7 points down, have a chance to just edge it a little bit closer.
5-second difference between the shot and the game clock. Fisher can't hit. Catalini the rebound. Adelaide will hold it up for the final shot of the quarter to try and keep Perth stranded at 77. If they hit a 3, they're up by 10 at the last change. Stewart harassing Riley. This is good to see. Vlahov the steal. There's time for Perth. Tipped out by Adelaide. 7/10 of a second. So Perth can catch and shoot here.
Has to be a lob.
Oh, Licky! It counts! On the buzzer! Todd Licky on the beautiful heads-up play from Anthony Stewart. And at the end of 3, the Wildcats are back within 5 points. Adelaide 84, Perth 79 briefly. What a finish.
Great finish to the quarter, and you can just sense here by the body language here of Perth, they're a chance. We see Adelaide just napping there on the out-of-bounds play, and Perth edge just a little bit closer. They're only down 5, and they seem to have the momentum at the moment. They're on the roll. Adelaide are in good position points-wise. They're 5 up. But you can just see when the timeouts went there at 3/4 time, Adelaide looking a little bit despondent.
There's the stats to 3/4 time. Adelaide with 32 boards to Perth 29. The turnovers, though, that's the interesting one. Adelaide 12 turnovers now to Perth 6. At the end of 3 here in Adelaide, it's the hometown 36ers up by 5, leading 84-79. But Rob and Darren, it's not over yet. And Darren, Dwayne Michaels wants to have a chat with you as well.
Well, we'll ask him about that as Darren unkindly called Dwayne Frankenstein in our basketball program earlier this morning. His family, no doubt, will be on the blower. But 5 points the difference. Great way for Perth to finish. And they are still a chance after it looked to be getting away from them.
Yeah, I think Perth, their legs are going, but they are playing well, and Vlahov's playing well. And I think Adelaide's getting a bit of a comfort zone. And that's what it seems to me, is Adelaide aren't playing as hard, and they seem to live and die by their three-point shots. It's
fitness on the young, fresh Adelaide legs versus finals experience of the Perth team that have been so solid and so stable for so many years.
Yeah, you saw a few shots there, and especially the last shot where Adelaide, a little bit lackadaisical, let the last shot from Lickney go, and that happened a couple of times.
Okay, well, it's very exciting, just 5 points in it. Now, the other game in the semi-final series between the Magic and the Bullets is also very tight. Let's update it for you. The Magic with the Bullets giving them the problems, and 1 point in it. 5 points in our game. Great final term coming up. Let's see how Adelaide and the Perth Wildcats perform in this final quarter. Here's Clinton.
Thanks very much, Rob. Yes, we are looking forward to a great final term. David Graham, what was Alan Black's instructions there at the break?
Well, Alan obviously definitely believing in the momentum pendulum, figuring that his team with Licky scoring that last 2 points that last quarter really gives them the edge going in. If they're 5 down, he was pretty concerned or more so interested in setting his guys up offensively to make sure that they're setting their cuts and their screens correctly. Defensively, obviously get a hand in the shooter's face.
Perth control the tip to start the final quarter. We hope you're enjoying it live around the country on ABC. Fisher to Vlahov, almost walked. Catalini the block. Darnell Mead chases down the loose ball. Fantastic start for the 36ers if they can finish it here. Brooks. Catalini open. Short, but they'll get it again through Brooks. Perth perhaps a shade unlucky. Oh, Paul Rees wasn't expecting it. Catalini beats Vlahov. Oh, loose ball. Still at Adelaide. Darnell Mead. Shot clock at 15. Really steps inside and banks it home.
Smart little step-in shot from John Riley. Got the defence up and just took a step in, banked it softly. Nice touch from the two-man from Adelaide. You just seem to think that Adelaide, to be complete in this fourth quarter, probably need an inside presence as well as their strong outside game. They need a big game from Safwell or Rees in the post as Paul Rees blocks the first shot. Darnell Mead blocks that.
Andrew Vlahov off screen, complaining with Ray Hunt that there was no call initially. There seemed to be plenty of body contact, and Darnell Mead mugged Scott Fisher over the top, and there's Andrew Vlahov turning around asking Ray, was there anything in it?
I would say of all the players in the league, Block probably can't complain about a vigour in a situation. He is past master at really wearing down his opponent with legitimate strength, and he's not going to suck in the referee there. But Fisher on the line after being hammered by Darnell Mead knocks it down. It's 86-80 at the moment.
Doesn't Scott Fisher know about poise in the playoffs? A couple of championships with North Melbourne in 89 and Perth in 95. Trying for another one, but the season will be over in 10 3/4 minutes for the Wildcats unless they can come back from this 5-point deficit. They certainly have the talent to do so. Here's Catalini now. At the shot clock at 9, Paul Rees.
He's got to look to score, Paul Rees. He can't just throw it out. He's got to look to score.
Look for the foul. Took the bump.
And gazelle-like fade away. The big fella.
Oh, the circus is in town with that shot. What a wonderful ball away. 7 points the margin. The fans enjoying it here at the Powerhouse. Fisher. Stewart getting open. Vlahov the go-to man here. Spinning by Brooks. Ran out of room. Adelaide by 7. And a big offensive play coming up, really. Double teamed in the corner, calls for timeout. Heads up play by John Riley. Knew that he was trapped in the corner, and he burns one of Phil Smythe's 3 second half timeouts there. 88 plays 81, 9:37. remaining in the match. Let's go to Alan Black, the Perth coach now.
3. Right, all right? Okay. You're still on Brooks. You got Reese. You're on Catalini. All right, so let's see if they make any change in their rotations. Just go and pick that up. All right, guys, there's plenty of time left in the game now. We've got it now, but right at this point, we've got to get some stops. All right, more important than anything else, we just got to be real solid defensively and get some stops. All right, now, offense, let's come down and let's run fist now. All right, let's come fist. See, you set the pick. Bury where the pick is. Come hard off that, Rick. See if you can turn the corner. All right, let's go.
So that's the word from Alan Black. David Graham to comment on Phil Smart. David.
Phil was concerned with his repetitiveness, but obviously he wanted to keep his team playing defence. He feels that the offence will take care of themselves by the fact that they're actually wearing Perth down by running the ball at them. Defensively, though, he wants obviously his guys to be as set and as strong as they can be because he's expecting Perth to come back with a flurry.
Shot clock is at 10. It didn't reset for the timeout. Catalini knows that. Penetrates. Almost fouled, not quite. Ball will stay with Adelaide. The shot clock is at 6, so they will have to release quickly here from the inbound pass.
Good defence from Perth. Just the swarming defence, double-teaming any driver. And Catalini, his shot was rejected, but he gets the ball back.
Maher off the screen. Brooks steps out. Paul Rees has to go himself. Not this time. Vlahov again on the rebound for the Wildcats. Lichty, they need a score. He runs into trouble again. Vlahov has 20 and 11 rebounds. 9 minutes to go. Grace, dangerous from here. Lichty steps inside of Maher. Shot clock at 7, brace for 3. It's big! And he nails it. All net, and the margin is back to 4.
Good patience from Perth there. They end up with a good quality shot. And look at Grace, nothing but cord.
He has 19. Catalini to retaliate.
He's happy about it.
That's a dagger for the Wildcats, isn't it? They get back to 4. It takes them an eternity to get back to 4, and then instantly it's taken away. Grace on the drive, and Ricky doing it again.
Yeah, you just seem to think that if Perth get within 2 or 3, and that's the thing, you know, there are a chance here if they get ahead, maybe it'll test the character here of the Adelaide boys, but at this stage, Adelaide are answering every challenge.
Ricky Grace called for the foul there, leaning in on Darnell Mee. That will be his 4th personal foul. Adelaide will have possession. 8:14 remaining in the 4th quarter.
It's a tough foul for Grace because, you know, his 5th foul. He'll have to go very, very careful if he gets another one, and Darnell Mee is going to have the ball in his hands a lot. Catalini can't make another 3.
Now, isn't this a big offense for the Wildcats? If they score here, they're back within a shot. Ricky Grace. Crawford, the veteran, delivers on cue. They're back within 1 3-point basket. And now the Adelaide fans get behind their team.
It's a big defensive play here from Perth. If they can get a stop, they have the chance to tie up the ball game. Reese going at Crawford, thrown out.
What a block by JC. They can tie it up. This is the closest it's been since halftime. Grace runs into a wall. And Paul Rees hands it off for Brooks.
That's a big play from Reese. Tough defense.
Maher, that's a tough shot. That's a tough shot.
That's unbelievable.
I can't believe he took the shot.
He was that horizontal on the play. He was almost lying in bed.
He threw that out of the hammock, didn't he? Crawford, no foul. Fisher! Over the top. Makes the margin 3 again. Catalini being worked by Fisher. Crawford. Maher for 3.
Brett Maher's pumped up. When Maher shows emotion, that's rare.
Yeah.
And that pumps the crowd out. Adelaide up by 6.
How many times can Perth come back? Waiting for 3. Oh, Grace! He pushed off. Adelaide ball. That's 5 fouls on Grace. Gee whiz. The contact seems so late and incidental, and to make matters worse, he put it in for 2. I hope we get to see that again because there didn't seem to be a great deal in it initially.
Not in the context of the vigour of this game, certainly. And did he place anyone at a disadvantage? I don't think so.
Yeah. So instead of being down by 4, they could find themselves down by 8 if Adelaide score here.
Or possibly 9, the way Adelaide shoot.
Maher is fouled by Fisher. It was on the handoff, so it will only be an in ball for the 36ers. Gee, it's tough out there. And the Wildcats, perhaps a shade unlucky in a couple of the decisions in the second half. They have to keep finding something at the defensive end. It just keeps getting tougher for them. Adelaide have kept their noses in front since they led by a point at halftime. But it's not over by a long way. Lichty fouls John Riley, and that puts Perth on the limit now. That's their 4th, so every defensive foul from here for the Wildcats will give the Adelaide 36ers 2 free throws. Adelaide have just won this quarter. Darnell Meade. Maher off the screen from Catalini. Brooks. Shot clock at 15. Brooks, dangerous, tough shot. Oh. Adelaide have delivered some big shots down the stretch.
Well, Vlahov could do no more than play defense like that. It was good defensive effort and the soft rainbow jumper from Brooks.
Wildcats now have to score on the next 4 trips at least. Vlahov for 3. Oh! He has had an outstanding afternoon. The Wildcats will not lie down.
And there's no need for Perth also, even though that was a good...
To go for 3,
exactly. They don't have to panic. There's plenty of time there.
They need to stop again. They're down by 5. 5 minutes to go. Catalini steps inside. Maher for 3. Perth the rebound through Fisher. Ricky Grace down the middle. Great character shown by the Perth team here. Grace on the fake. Fisher, quick release shot. Didn't go. Lichty should run it down. Stewart for 3. That's too deep.
Anthony Stewart shooting the 20-footer. It went 23 feet. And he's probably a little bit cold. I think Adelaide, the thing that's in their corner at the moment is they've only committed 1 team foul. So down the stretch, that could really help them.
Shot clock at 13. Really, all tough. Doesn't get the roll. Maher, the rebound, fouled by Fisher. Brett Maher to shoot 2.
Really on the fadeaway. Maher with the loose scraps.
Perth Wildcats call their final timeout. 4:16 to go. Adelaide by 5, but they will be off to the free throw line with Brett Maher to shoot a couple of free throws. It's 3/4 time, meanwhile, at Melbourne Park in the second game of the semi-final series between the Magic and Brisbane. And the Magic have worked their way to a 7-point lead. It's the Magic 61, the Bullets 54. If the Magic win that, they're off to the grand final series, which is live next Sunday at 4 here on ABC. They could play Phil Smythe and the 36ers. They're up by 5. Let's listen to Phil Smythe now.
Now they're in the bonus. All right, so we can waste the clock if we want and draw a foul and go to the line. Defensively, on the high post pick, look to double on that. Whoever's down here, look to come across for the steal. You see the double go. Johnny, it's probably you. Might be a chance to come and deflect it off a fish, all right? Offensively, keep them spread, but come towards the ball. That way there's going to be contact. Move the ball quickly and look to penetrate. So here we go.
Phil Smythe, almost as emotive as he comes. David Graham, Alan Blake just wasted his final time or used his last time out. What was his talk to his players?
Well, look, it may well be, but he does have a plan. He feels that his team's not going to win the game, and let's face it, they're not going to if they stay back and play the defence back, half court or even lower in the actual court. So what we'll probably see then is when Adelaide score, they'll play a full court man-to-man defence, obviously trying to put Adelaide out of their offensive sets. Offensively, they've still got to probably bang away from outside through Ricky Grace. He's been caught up down low so far tonight. He's been very successful from outside the key.
Brett Maher makes the first. He is an 87% free throw shooter this season.
I think Perth just have to be smart defensively, not waste any fouls and just walk Adelaide to the free throw line. At the same time, they don't need to blaze away. They need good quality shots here.
4 minutes left. Foul off the ball on Catalini for holding Fisher. That's the second team foul on the 36ers. Brett Maher up to 20 points. Equal leader for Adelaide with Brooks, who has 20. Really 19. Catalini 16. Vlahov leads all scorers with 23. Stewart, the trigger man. Beautiful give for Vlahov. Make it 25.
It's about the fourth time Adelaide have been caught napping there on the out-of-bounds play, and that's just something that just makes your coach go crackers. This guy's not keyed in at all. It's a triple team on Maher. Gets it to Catalini.
Me open, Maher open. Oh. It's like a game of horse for him. He's taking them from everywhere, isn't it?
Exactly right. Brett Maher just really coming up trumps here in the second half. Team skipper leading his team to a possible victory here as Gray shoots a three.
Oh, Vlahov tipped it in on the second effort. Almost offensive interference. Wildcats back within 5. They just have to get another couple of stops. Maher into the front court for Adelaide. They'll use some time on each trip so long as they keep that 5 to 7 point lead. Shot clock to 13. Maher guarded by Lichty. He'll go himself. It's like the DMAC against Maher back in 94. It's down to 3 seconds. Darnell Mee.
Lordy, big shot from Darnell Mee right on the buzzer there.
That's the dagger in the heart. Can Perth come back from something like that? They're down by 8. Grace pulls the trigger. Oh, and Ricky responds. This is one for the archives here. 105-100. Adelaide. Catalini pulls it out. Ricky has 24 and 7 assists.
I was going to say huge play here for Perth, but they're all huge plays at the moment.
Everyone's a huge play, isn't it?
They need a stop, though. They're desperate for a stop and then a score. And Adelaide, obviously, clock winding down to 6. Catalini just held it back.
Should Perth have fouled in that situation?
Well, possibly, but they need a score.
Turnover. No. Vlahov fakes the 3. Now pulls the trigger. The rebound from Darnell Mee might be enough as we step inside of 2 minutes remaining. A score here would make it almost impossible for Perth, and Maher is wide open.
John Riley, Adelaide celebrating a little bit early, but a smart heads-up pass from Riley. Grace answers with a tough drive.
It's back to 7. A minute 40 remaining. Now, the question for the Wildcats, do they foul and send Adelaide to the line or rely on getting a stop? They haven't got a stop for the last 3 or 4 trips. They foul.
See, the thing is, if you're going to commit a foul like that, you commit it on the first pass and stop the clock. Not after there's been 15 seconds.
And Brooks is a 78% free throw shooter.
Adelaide, of course, are in no hurry to shoot. They've got a 7-point lead with 2 free throws to go. The other thing is for Adelaide, they can't just be negative. They still have to run their game.
Brooks 2 of 2 from the line this afternoon.
We heard Phil Smythe saying the last time out, fellas, come to the ball. Don't wait for it to come to you. And if you're going aggressively to the ball, if you are fouled, you're not going to get the ball knocked out of your hands.
This for a 9-point lead.
Expect the 3-point attempts now.
90 seconds left. Fisher. They can all gun it from outside. Brooks got a hand in it. Stewart. All 5 Wildcats can hit the 3. Grace from the car park, literally. Catalini fouled by Stewart. The Cat off to the line for 2. The former Wildcat would love to bury his old team.
Catalini with a tough rebound. Stewart just whacking him just to make sure the foul is called. They stop the clock. The Adelaide crowd getting a bit excited. They tend to go to sleep. Typical Adelaide crowd, they want to win by 1 on the buzzer. I played a few games here in my time, and that's too many up, they go to sleep. Other cities just scream for blood. They want a bigger win.
It's out to a 10-point lead. This for Adelaide's biggest lead of the game. It makes it 4 possessions at least for Perth. Mee got a hand on it. Ball out of play. It'll belong to the Wildcats. But time is fast running out on Perth's season. Lichty fakes Maher, misses on the 3. Darnell Mee to Brett Maher. They wouldn't like to foul Maher because he's such a good free throw shooter. He won the best free throw shooter a couple of years ago. Inside of the last minute now. Listen to this crowd. Surprising move there. The Wildcats fouling with just 10 left on the shot clock. Adelaide, as Darnell Mee revs the crowd up. They haven't won the NBL Championship here in Adelaide since 1986. Twice they've been runner-up in 85 and 94. Maher misses 2. Gives the Wildcats still a glimmer of hope. They've been great this afternoon. Vlahov makes 2. He has 29. He had 4 on Friday night. They'll foul Mee. He almost got the steal. The margin back to 9. Just a super game of NBL basketball. A bit of a smile for Phil Smythe.
It hasn't been a fairy tale Phil story really this year. I mean, you know, relatively everyone thought, look, Phil Smythe, yeah, he'll make a great coach or whatever. It's not a certainty that one of Australia's greatest players becomes a very good coach. And I'm not saying Phil's great or whatever, but in your first debut season, you're taking your team to the grand final.
The contrast with Larry Bird, the similarities in the NBA is remarkable. Former great with the Celtics, back to his home state in Indiana, leading them to the conference finals. Stewart for 3 there, makes the margin 8. 30 seconds to go. Mee to Maher. They wouldn't want to turn it over. Brooks. Perth don't have the numbers back there to foul. John Riley. The skip for Catalini. They can run it down. We saw Phil on Sunday Basketball this morning, enjoying his time in Adelaide. Lichty fouls Maher. And he's taken the 36ers back to the Grand Final Series for the first time in 4 years. They'll play either the Magic or Brisbane. And, well, who knows once you get there. Maher for 2.
The thing with Adelaide making the final 2 is that if it is the Magic, then they'll have game 1 here.
Yep, and they lost to the Magic all 3 times this year, but it was by 1, 2 and 3 points, so nothing in it either time. Perth down by 8, 10 seconds to go. It'd be fitting if Vlahov can end the scoring, and he does. He hits for 3, and the margin, I think, a true reflection of the game at the moment being 5 points. Maher off to the line to shoot 2. And if there'd been another 10, 15 seconds to go, who knows? But what about Vlahov tonight, this afternoon, 32 points?
Yeah, he's definitely cranked up his scoring as we sort of predicted that he would come out and be the leader out there and set the pace.
And Brett talked that one home.
He's pretty tired. Well, his all-time career playoff high on Friday night. He's come back with a pretty big game here down the stretch.
25, has 61, 62 for the series.
Those shots that roll around like that's a sign of a fatigued player.
And the Adelaide 36ers are off to the grand final. Sweep for the 36ers. And Phil Smythe, in his first year as coach in the city of churches, leads the Adelaide 36ers back to the NBL Grand Final Series. 117 to 110, the final score. Let's not forget the Wildcats, though, a fantastic season and a great series finale for them here as Adelaide players gather in mid-court and the powerhouse erupts again. It looks like they'll play the Magic. They lead Brisbane 89-73. David Graham has the winning coach. Phil Smythe standing by.
Give us some performance by your guys tonight. Perth came out to try to hit you guys very early in the game, and you bounced back beautifully.
Yeah, I thought they would. They played with great intensity. It was a terrific game. So obviously we're happy with the result, and we still got a little bit of work to do.
Maher was fantastic again. When you really needed the shots to be knocked down, he was able to come up well.
He's been sensational in both games, and I thought everybody stepped up defensively, which was a big plus for us.
I thought Brooks was brilliant defensively for a guy who's, 6'7", and not with a lot of meat on him. He's fantastic defending the big guys.
He did a great job. I guess we said Vlahov was their engine room. We could limit him or shut him down. That would help us a lot with our win. And I think a lot of that goes to Kevin's game tonight.
Well, it looks like by the sounds of the scores that you'll probably be playing Magic. They're ahead of Brisbane in the second of their two games. You're probably a little bit too early to look ahead at next week, but how do you feel at this point?
Well, we're just happy to get a chance of playing in the grand final. Magic deserve to be there. They've been the form team all year, and we look forward to playing them if it's that way.
Finally, Phil, just there was some concern, obviously, during the week or during the last couple of weeks about your injuries coming into the finals. But that's certainly been dispelled. The guys, Catalini, Davis and Brooks have come out and played particularly well.
I think it's an amazing thing about finals, isn't it? If you've got an injury, you don't seem to have it in the finals. So the guys have worked hard to get over them, and fortunately it's fallen our way.
Fantastic win tonight, Phil. Good luck, and we'll look forward to seeing you in the playoffs.
Good on you, Dave. Thanks very much.
David, we'll keep it with you. Brett Maher's over your left shoulder at the moment. He had an outstanding afternoon with 26 points. Have a chat to him.
Brett, fantastic game, 26 tonight, backed up by a beautiful 36 on Friday night.
Yeah, we wanted to come out early on Friday night and get a lead on them, and we were able to follow through and win that game, which gave us the advantage in tonight's game.
Brett, everybody was expecting Perth to come out and try and belt you guys around a little bit down low. They did that particularly in the first quarter, but you came back, stuck to your game plan really well.
Yeah, I thought we withheld their storm in that first quarter. They came out really hard at us, and we were able to get back into the game and just flow on in the last three turns.
You've had a great season. Your shooting touch has been great. Obviously tonight it's fired on. You hit some shots, particularly when Perth were verging on coming back.
Yeah, it's great to be able to hit them at this end of the season, and hopefully I can take that into the grand final series.
How do you feel about the Magic? It looks like they've probably won the second of their final game, so you'll probably be meeting them in the final.
Yeah, we've had some great tussles with them right throughout the year, and as usual, we always do. So we're looking forward to a hard match up there, and hopefully we can come home with a win.
Brett, we saw you in this morning's Sunday program with a smile on your face. We don't often see that.
No, not too emotional till we do win in the end, and I occasionally bring one out. So it's a great feeling to get in the grand final, and hopefully we can win it.
Well, we'll look forward to a broad grin maybe in a couple of weeks' time if you can nail the Magic.
That'd be fantastic.
Thanks a lot, Brett.
No problems.
Thanks, mate.
Thanks very much there, David Graham, with Brett Maher, who simply did it again in this final series. He was outstanding. You can hear the crowd in the background. They certainly love him here. He was named to Adelaide's all-time 20th anniversary team during halftime. He had 36 points on Friday night, Darryl. He had another big game, 26 this afternoon. He got the job done. That's why he's in the Boomers.
Oh, exactly. I think he's the best two-man in the Mitsubishi Challenge competition at the moment. We always hear these cliches, lead by example and whatever. He is the captain. He's so consistent. He plays very well and has come up big time so far in the semi-finals. Now, Adelaide can take that form forward to, we presume, the game against South East Melbourne Magic. We're only guessing there. But Adelaide's form against that team's been pretty good this season, only beaten by 3-2-1. And the last loss was after I think it's like 4 games in 8 days or something. So
and it came with Frank Drimmick on the buzzer.
It did, a buzzer beater by Drimmick. Plus, it was the right time to beat Adelaide. They had injured players. They're on the road for almost a week. I'm not making excuses. It's fact. And I think that Adelaide would have taken a positive out of that loss, if you know what I mean, and saying, hey, when we're fully fit in our own gym in game 1, if we do play them, I think the advantage is with Adelaide. I think if they lose game 1, it's good night nurse. I think it's very hard for them to beat the Magic twice in a row back there. But
well, they won by 7 points. They were pretty happy too when the final siren sounded. Look at them, back to the grand final series for the first time since 1994 when they lost to the North Melbourne Giants. And very good reaction from the Adelaide team. And Well, Murray Magpie's happy as well. We should have a word on Andrew Vlahov, 32 points. He was outstanding as well.
Well, we sort of said before the game that people like Vlahov and Fisher would step up and physically be a presence, but he cranked up his scoring, which was outstanding. You know, when you get in finals basketball like this, you've got to draw on your previous experiences, and he's one of their more experienced players. He's a winner, dual Olympian, and he just led from the front also for his team, so it's an outstanding effort in a losing team.
Well, Paul Rees had 11 points for the 36ers. He's standing by now with David Graham.
Game tonight, particularly that fall away in the last quarter. What the hell were you thinking?
I thought I saw a ray of sunshine through the rafters up there. I thought maybe I'm lucky today.
Thought that your defensive effort down low tonight was good. Obviously, with Perth out muscling you guys as far as weight to body ratio is concerned, your input tonight was really important.
Kevin? Yeah, I enjoyed the game tonight. You know, there was a few things said in the media about athleticism and that sort of thing, and I think my weight may have stood me in good stead tonight. I really enjoyed the game out there. I think we all did. It was a tough match. You know, Perth played hard, and we feel very fortunate now to be going to the grand final.
The most impressive thing, I think, from our point of view with your team tonight was that Perth just wouldn't lay down and die. They kept coming back at you each time, and every single time you guys again were able to step up and shoot the ball.
Yes, we're aware that Perth, with their experience and their competitive nature, they weren't going to lay down for us, and we had to take the game, and I was really proud of the way we were able to assert ourselves when we needed to.
What is it with the crowds over here in Adelaide? We see it in the AFL football. The basketball crowd, they're just as crazy.
I don't think you call our fans crazy. I think they're great supporters of the game, and I'm pleased we've been able to, give them something to cheer about this year.
And how important will they be with your first home final?
I just think the home court advantage here in Adelaide is possibly the best in Australia because of the support of the fans over here and the fact that we have our own facility and we're able to practice in here nearly every day on this court. And, everyone says that it is important to get that first game, and that's what maybe we won't be playing. I don't know the Brisbane Magic result. Whenever we come back here, we're glad to be at home, and we really enjoyed it here today.
It does look like Magic have actually got through to the final, so, how do you feel about playing them?
Delighted. I said it a few years ago when the Giants in the grand final, and I was with them, I'd rather be playing in a grand final against anybody than going on holidays at this time of year.
Well, it's too cold to go anywhere on holiday, so you're in the final next week. Well done and good luck.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Paul.
Very much. David Graham standing by with Paul Rees. He had an outstanding game with 11 points here today, and the man who's joining us now in our commentary position also had an outstanding game. John Riley, 19 points. Most of them came early on when you got the Adelaide 36ers going. What a great win for you guys.
It was exceptional, and it was my turn to put my hand up and say, it's my turn to carry the team for a little while. Brett Maher did it the other night, and all season long, that's been the versatility of our game. Other guys have stepped up on the given night.
We spoke about your season early on. Didn't get so many minutes at the start of the year, but as Daryl was saying, you've really played your way back into the lineup, haven't you? And again tonight, another fantastic game.
Oh, yeah, well, this is the important part of the season. This is when you want to be playing, and this is when you want to be playing well, so I can't complain. That's the past. I've got to look to the future.
Seems to be a great team chemistry at the moment under Phil Smythe.
Clicking very well, and there's no complaints. When you sweep the Wildcats 2-0, you can't say too much more about it.
And what about the Wildcats, though, today? I mean, they were constantly down. They were tired. You guys kept getting in front, but, gee, they kept coming back, didn't they?
We knew that they were going to come out tough like they are because you just look over the 90s, their history speaks for itself, and we knew that they would keep coming back, but, we always had that 6 to 8 point buffer, which is great to have.
And just finally, the Magic, or the Boards, it looks like it will be the Magic. You've gone down to them all 3 times, but, gee, it's been close this year. It should be a great series.
Oh, yeah, the old cliche, it's finals time, anything can happen, but, we know we're right there against the Magic. They got everything to, lose because they swept us 3-0 this year. We can go out there, play, hopefully, just free and easy basketball and come out on top.
And nice and relaxed and fun, as it has been all year under Phil.
Yeah, I listened to you guys this morning, and that's what you said, so hopefully we can come out guns blazing and test their defense.
Oh, great. Well played today. You had an outstanding first half and set Adelaide up. Congratulations.
Thank you.
John Riley joining us here on Sunday Basketball. Let's have a look at the stats now, Daryl. Take us through those. Good field for shooting again from both sides, and the rebounds, it was pretty tight.
Yeah, relatively good percentages and a fairly high-scoring game for a finals. With that sort of defensive vigour, you wouldn't expect that. But both teams shooting very well. Rebounding stats pretty good, and at the end, Adelaide coming up trumps defensively on the boards, 30-24. Turnovers pretty low for a final situation with that sort of pressure, 12 and 8. You'd love your teams to average those during the season. Not many steals, and the assist Adelaide, normally the winning team has more assists, so pretty easy, pretty even stats board there. And I just think that Adelaide, just at the end there, just the home crowd, I think, brought them home.
They did indeed. What an afternoon of basketball here at the Powerhouse in Adelaide. The 36ers, they sweep the Wildcats 2-0 in the semi-final series, but they did it tough today, 117-110. And even the players watch Sunday basketball, Daryl. John Riley there saying that he tunes in every Sunday morning at 9:30. We will see you next Sunday morning at 9:30 for more Sunday basketball. And then from 4, the grand final series, if it is the Magic in Adelaide. Rob will bring us up to date with that score in just a moment. Who would you pick in a word?
I think Adelaide at home, game 1. I think that it's their best chance of beating them. If they can take that into game 2, they're a chance to clean sweep.
Should be a great final series. It starts at 4 next Sunday. Rob, that's it from us. We enjoyed ourselves immensely. Hope you did too. The final score, 117-110.
Thanks, Clinton. Great work, and it was a good game, wasn't it, Darren? And quickly, it will be the Magic versus Adelaide in the grand final series. Who do you think will win?
Not biased at all, but I think very similar to if they win in Adelaide. If Adelaide win in Adelaide, then they'll have a set chance. But if they don't win, then definitely the Magic.
Okay, well, we'll update that score now for you. I'm sure you're dying to find out what the score is between the Magic and the Brisbane Bullets. And let's now give you a progressive. It's a final score, rather. And the Magic home by 6. The Bullets very game, but going down by 6. So the Magic sweeping that series 2-0. They play Adelaide next week. Well, thanks very much for joining us here today. The Magic boys in it again and looking pretty good. Contrast of style, so it should be good. Melbourne-Adelaide rivalry should be a wonderful grand final series.
Yep, should be great.
Okay, Darren Lucas has been our guest here this afternoon. Next week, we've got game 1 of the NBL Grand Final Series, the best of 3 between Adelaide and Southeast Melbourne Magic. We'll be here live from 4 o'clock. Join us then.